CPAs, accountants, CFOs, bookkeepers, tax pros. If you've been watching the cannabis industry from the sidelines, here's the big news. Cannabis just got rescheduled. It's official from the DOJ. I'm going to break down right now for you the 4 things you need to know. What actually happened, what 280E going away means for the cannabis industry, how this is also going to affect you as the accountants and CFOs going forward, and the 3 things you can do right now to position yourself over the next 90 days. I'm Andrew Hunzicker, CPA, founder of DOPE CFO. I've spent the last 15 years teaching over 2,000 accountants as well as 2 national firms. I also lead the AICPA Cannabis Conference every year as well. This is the biggest news in cannabis I've seen definitely this century, and it's going to open up a ton of new opportunities, not to mention 30 to 50,000 new cannabis companies that are going to need professionals just like you who understand the space. Let me show you how you can be one of them. Let's just look at the update. December 18th, Trump laid out an executive order. Now, we know he's laid out many executive orders, but this one's very interesting. It says, this is a subset of it. The Attorney General shall take all necessary steps to complete the rulemaking process and finalize rescheduling, moving cannabis to Schedule 3 in the most expeditious manner. Now, this is very interesting because the rescheduling of cannabis, I'm going to talk about what that means. Moving it to Schedule 3 was actually started under Biden, and it was a big Democratic initiative the last several years. And so people were surprised. This is, when the Democrats, if they take over next, they'll try to overturn many executive orders from Trump. But not this one. This one the Democrats actually like. So that's one of the unique things about this executive order. It's bipartisan as well. In my opinion, this executive order and the rescheduling of cannabis is the biggest news in my 15 years in cannabis, arguably in the last 80 years. I have been predicting this, by the way, if you've watched my other earlier webinars for quite some time, the last 18 months, and why this is actually the best news, not only for the cannabis industry, but for the people that serve the cannabis industry like us, CFOs and accountants. Let's dive in. What are the drug schedules? Real quickly, Schedule 1 is where we keep the U.S., the DEA, calls these are criminal drugs. They are bad, bad, bad. There is no known medical use for these drugs. There's potential for abuse, potential for addiction. There's things like ecstasy, meth, heroin, LSD, cannabis, which clearly doesn't belong here. Now, what is Schedule 3? We'll look down. Tylenol with codeine, pretty mild. Steroid shots, testosterone, ketamine, very mild, real medicine, but they're not criminal drugs. They have a real medical use. So back in 2022, again, this started under the Democrats. Biden directed the Human Health Service Department and the Attorney General to initiate review of rescheduling. Both the HHS and after they did, the FDA chimed in. Those are where all our scientists and doctors are at the federal government. They said, yes, we've spent 2 years and cannabis is clearly medicine. What the heck's it doing on Schedule 1? Let's move it to Schedule 3. DOJ published the proposed rule, opened it to public comment, 2024 July, public comment closed. 93% of public comment coast to coast was, heck yeah, let's get it on Schedule 3. Now on the right here, we look at the excess taxes that are going to go away. That's penalizing the industry. This is only just the start. We're going to move to safer banking. We're going to move to descheduling cannabis altogether, taking off the schedules, making it like liquor. Also, public companies are going to be open, more investment capital as well. So lots of good news around this. By the way, what is 280E? So if you're the last 15 years, any kind of cannabis company in any state, medical, rec, doesn't matter. If you traffic, meaning you buy or sell cannabis, like you're a farm, a dispensary, a manufacturer, guess what? Here's the bad news for the farms and dispensaries. You get no deductions on your tax return. You get no credits. What does that mean? That means your tax return a 10-year-old could fill out. Put in your revenues, taxable income, pay your tax. You do get cost of goods sold, but other than that, that's it. So anyone selling cannabis in any form in any state is paying a huge tax bill. They're paying it on their gross profit. And so their effective tax rate right now is anywhere from 40 to 70%. And how can any business operate with those kind of taxes? Well, that's going away right now because guess what? I forgot to tell you that. What does it say right here in 280E? 280E is part of the tax code, and it's only one sentence, and there it is. You can read it. But it says right there, 280E only applies to Schedule 1 and 2. It does not apply to Schedule 3. So that is huge news for the industry. So let's first, before we talk about us as CFOs, accountants, what does this do for the current 200,000 cannabis companies and their owners and their teams and their investors? It's huge. It ends 280E. That means their tax bill is going to go down 20 to even more, 35%. Their cash flow is going to go up 20, 25%. Their valuation of the value of their whole business is going to go up 5 to 7x. We're going to see new debt and equity capital absolutely flood into the space because the industry is going from very, very mildly profitable to wildly profitable overnight. That's going to bring an absolute ton of capital. I think we're going to see 50 to 100,000 new cannabis companies in the next 18 months. And none of them have accountants or CFOs, by the way. We're going to see the states that are just halfway into cannabis or not at all, we're going to see them open up because this is now identified as real medicine by the federal government. Lots of startups. We're also going to see lots of M&A and exits, all reasons they're going to need us as well. This came out from Viridian Capital a while back, the impact of 280E, and it just shows you on the left, the current company, say their free cash flow is 120 grand right now today, it's going to triple to 300 grand. That's a huge, huge increase. And then down there on the right, 7x higher valuation. So let's look at this. Why is this good news for us as accountants and CFOs? So anytime the companies we work for are making more money, growing faster, expanding faster, that's going to flow to us, and not just us, the attorneys, the marketers, everyone's going to win. The owners, investors are going to win for sure. Their employees are going to win. Their contractors are going to win. So the clients are more profitable. There's more cash flow. We can help them scale. Again, we're going to see an absolute flood of investors and capital. Everyone and their aunt's going to be getting in, and not just individuals, VCs, private equity, angel investors, corporations, beer companies, all kinds of food companies. We're going to see them making more foods and beverages with THC as well. States are going to join in. Tax returns are actually more complex now, not less. We've got the whole tax code to use. So we can actually use the tax code. We're still going to do what we do as world-class CFOs for all verticals, which is GAAP level cost accounting for all verticals, both in cannabis and hemp, from farming, distribution, manufacture, retail in every state. That's the same. Once a year, the tax return will be more complex. Clients are going to need us more than ever. And there's going to be more audits. Public markets are going to open up. So there's going to be more IPOs, public filings, et cetera. And so it's a great time to get into this. We're going to see this trend basically for 60 years up and to the right. There was a mild downtick last year, but it's actually already started back up. The public, just like the majority of Americans want access to alcohol, it's not a Republican issue. It's not Democratic. Both sides like alcohol. Same for cannabis. And actually, cannabis is going up still. Alcohol usage is at an all-time low. It's around 50% of Americans. And again, if we just look at the revenues for this industry, this doesn't include hemp. This doesn't include rescheduling. We're looking at a $100 billion plus industry within a couple of years. So that's what rescheduling means. Great news for the industry. Great news for us. If you're a CFO accountant wanting to get in, you should not be waiting. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you're, again, an accountant, CFO, tax pro, bookkeeper, and you hate your job, you're not satisfied, you're underpaid, you're overworked, you're underappreciated, you can change that right now. You can work for yourself, fully remote. Instead of one job, why don't you have 4 or 5 clients that each pay you more than your job's paying you right now? And oh, by the way, you can get equity in those clients too. So you have a chance for a home run along with the founders of these big cannabis companies. Click the link below, jump on a call with me. I will show you how we can get you in quickly. We will show you how to transition out of your job into your first client, and from there, build the firm of your dreams.